What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I am bringing you a test hand combo video for the Blue Eyes Dragoon profile I showed you all the other day. So I thought what this would be quite helpful for is to show you what the deck can do if you don't see your Dark Magician engine, what it does on a randomized basis, the type of plays that you still have access to no matter what you've got. So what we'll do is a standard test hand going first and a standard test hand going second to show you how you can utilize the cards to either help you OTK or just get that all important finish, setting up a very important defensive board, whether that be with the full Secret Village lock and Crystal Wing, or whether that just be with the ability of your full Blue Eyes combo. So with all of that out of the way, after a very decent shuffle and a good old cut, our starting hand of 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so unfortunately the one thing that this deck does lack is it does lack the bridge, and what I mean by that is it's a bridge to go from Blue Eyes to Dark Magician. So without direct access to Dark Magician, we're not going to be able to go massively far that route, but just to show you exactly what the deck can do with just the Blue Eyes engine, it still gives you enough to hold the game off and do its own thing. So the Dragoon is always going to be an added benefit. You're going to start off with normal summon Sage. Sage's effect is going to search out your Maiden. Now this is where you want to hold back certain effects where at all possible, and that's why it's quite important that you hold the Maiden back. Of course you can use it straight away to get you to your True Light, but even if you hold it back, the benefit you're going to get is you can turn your Sage into the Link 1, wherever it may be. There we go. You'll use Link 1's effect to try and get to the field spell. Now this is one of the first points where your opponent might interact with you because they feel that if they Ash Blossom you, you're currently Dragon Locked, you can't do anything. The benefit that you will have if you disregard these 4 cards in hand is your Maiden can then get you to your True Light. True Light can get you to Wishes. Activate Wishes gets you a second Sage. You can activate the Sage to turn the Spirit on the board into a Blue Eyes monster, which works under the Dragon Lock, gets you out of the Dragon Lock, and with Maiden in the grave, once you summon that Blue Eyes, you can obviously bring back the Maiden. So you then open yourself up to the ability to getting into your synchro plays in general. So that's like your ideal scenario of trying to play through an interruption on this. If they impermit or Veiler it, you're still out of a Dragon Lock anyway, so you're actually in a good position there. One of the worst interactions they could do for you is they let the Spirit resolve. Spirit's going to grab you Mausoleum. You activate the Mausoleum, attempt to use the Mausoleum's effect, targeting this to send the Blue Eyes, and they Ghost Ogre it. What that happens is you now don't get the normal summon or the additional normal summon. You don't get the Blue Eyes in the graveyard to tribute this off. So now you're back into the same position of you need to have hard open up Sage, Wishes, or you've got your Maiden, which will lead you to the same play anyway. So when you put your opponent in a position like this, because you've held back the Maiden, is it now puts them in a position of, okay, well, if I stop any of this going through, they then just go Maiden and get the combo off the back of it that way instead. So it's not really just like an end-all be-all at that point. We're going to resolve it as if we normally would anyway, so Mausoleum will then be able to send. Now you do have another way of getting rid of the Spirit if you want to keep the Mausoleum's effect, so you can target the Maiden on your play, and that just means you go Sage, turning the Spirit into a Blue Eyes, and that means you can actually save the Mausoleum. So I'll tell you what, because that's more of an uncommon thing to be seen, I'll show you how you save that. So we'll use Maiden's effect first now. We're going to grab you the True Light. Place True Light. You don't need to activate anything for Wishes right now because you're still in a relatively good position. And what you can do here is you can now use your Sage effect in the hand, discarding its targeting an effect monster to turn it into a Blue Eyes monster from the deck. Now, of course, you can go for an Abyss Dragon, but honestly, I'm just going to go for Blue Eyes White Dragon. Because in doing so, this now allows you to bring the Maiden back from the grave. I haven't had to use True Light, so I don't even need to worry about a Ghost Ogre on True Light right now. And I've still got my Synchro plays available to me. I can now activate Mausoleum's effect, target the Maiden, chain Maiden's effect to bring back either Blue Eyes from the graveyard or a light level 1 tuner. So we get to bring back the Sage Advisor Blue, and this will then send me my second copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon from the deck to the grave. Now remember, we haven't actually used our additional normal summon as of yet, so we still have that, which we can get off the back of Wishes, which is absolutely fine. So now we've got the option too, is you can always synchro these two off and go into a Spirit Dragon. The one benefit of doing something like this, so if I put these two together and go into a Spirit Dragon, I can now sit on the Spirit Dragon, but because I'm playing the Ancient Fairy version with Secret Village, I'll show you how you can still use Secret Village even without a Dragoon on the board. So what you'll do here is you'll tag out the Spirit Dragon. This will then get you into your Ancient Fairy Dragon. Ancient Fairy Dragon's effect will go off to destroy the Mausoleum and then grab you a field spell from the deck and give you an additional 1,000 life points. Now the one thing about this as well is you could special summon a monster level 4 from the hand with the Ancient Fairy, but we're not really going to need to use that. We still have True Light to set or to revive, which is also very, very important, because what we can do here is we can now activate Secret Village. You lock your opponent out of being able to activate spells because you got Maiden, and even if you were to end your board here, keeping in mind this would get destroyed, but even if you were to end your board, they still have to attack the Maiden. Maiden's effect can trigger to bring back a Sage, and then they're still under the Secret Village lock. So you put your opponent in a position here. The one thing you need to remember is you need a spellcaster in order to activate your spells, which is why it's very important not to get rid of Maiden just yet. So we'll activate Wishes, discard the Polymerization. This will then allow you to add a level 1 Light Tuner, and it will also allow you to add a Blue Eyes spell or trap. So I'm going to grab Master, and the trap I'm going to go for is the Majesty, because I've got 2 Blue Eyes in rotation, which gives me a double pop during my opponent's turn. So we'll now put this back into the grave. I'm now going to normal summon down Master. Master's effect is going to allow me to add back Sage from the grave back to the hand. Obviously, I've got 2 in rotation, so again, we're absolutely fine here. Now I can activate True Light to bring back Blue Eyes. And the reason that you want to do it this way is you can now use Wish's effect in the graveyard, banishing this, equipping it with your Neo. So then you can... Oh, sorry, before we do this, now what you're going to do is you're going to synchro your Master with your Blue Eyes. This will then get you into a second Spirit Dragon if you want it. There we go. Where are you? Second Spirit Dragon. And then you would tag out the second Spirit Dragon for an Azure Eyes, which means your Ancient Fairy Dragon wouldn't get destroyed. Or... if you rewind this a little bit more and you don't want to use True Light's effect to revive, you leave the Blue Eyes in the graveyard, just by normal summoning down the Master, what you then get is you can now synchro the Master with your Ancient Fairy Dragon and get you into Crystal Wing. There we go. So now we've got Crystal Wing, we've got Maiden, so they're still under the Secret Village lock, and I can now activate True Light. Oh, hello. And True Light will allow me to set a Blue Eyes spell or trap that isn't the same within my graveyard. So I can set a Wishes for a follow-up if I want to. I can set Raw if I want to use Raw's effect. If I want to use Raw's effect to get a Blue Eyes back to the board. So it's up to you, whichever one you want to go for. It does mean that you could have added a Wishes earlier on and off of the back of the first Wishes. Sorry, not Wishes off of Wishes, but you could search the Raw off of Wishes during the first one. Or you can set either one of these. It really is up to you. Or you revive the Blue Eyes. Revive the Blue Eyes, because you don't want to get rid of Maiden, because you want to keep your opponent under the Secret Village, is not worth doing. But just being able to grab one of these for a follow-up of the next turn is still going to be important, because I can now set the Imperm, pass to my opponent. Now, as this currently stands, what happens is they can't activate spells unless they put a spellcaster on the board. If they do put a spellcaster on the board, I can then use Majesty, revealing the 2 Blue Eyes in the graveyard to destroy it, so then I don't need to worry about it. They can't normal summon a monster and use its effect, because if they do, I'll Crystal Wing and destroy it. And again, if they're using that to get spells available to them, you get rid of it. If they normal summon down a monster just to kill the Maiden of White, they attack the Maiden of White, declaring an attack. You trigger Maiden of White's effect, which will either bring back your Blue Eyes Master with 1200 defense or your Sage with 1500 defense. This will still get destroyed, but now they're still under the Secret Village lock. You still have Imperm to negate, which means they need to get 2 monsters on the board without using a monster effect, because Crystal Wing would negate it. Or they have to use 3 monsters to get 2 monsters on the board using Crystal Wing just to start using spells. And that's before you use Majesty to destroy them, Imperm to negate them, and move on from there. So at the very least, let's say that this does happen and we bring back Sage just because it's got the bigger defense. And they still can't break this board. And let's say you've used Imperm, let's say you've used Majesty. It then comes back to your turn. You draw a random card for turn. You've still got a spellcaster in rotation. I can still activate Wishes. Even if I can't activate the Wishes because my opponent has got rid of this, for example, I can still, during my opponent's turn, activate True Light, bring back Blue Eyes, bring back Maiden. So they still need 3 monsters just to kill the Maiden, because this is going to keep coming back. And whether I did that during my opponent's turn or I do it during my turn, I've still got that play to make. So you have all of this. I can still go Sage, target Maiden, Maiden's effect trigger, bring back Blue Eyes. And then turn the Maiden into the Abyss Dragon. There we go. If it's special summons, you add a ritual or poly from deck to the hand. So obviously we've already gone through the poly because we hard opened it, so you're not going to be adding that. But straight away, you just swing this to attack and you go attack, 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 attack. Obviously, I can't use spells because I don't have a spellcaster on the board, but that's something you would make sure you use all your spells first. And the only reason that I would make this play here of using Sage to turn Maiden into the Abyss Dragon is for the pure fact that I've got game on board. If I don't have game on board, don't do it. That would be absolutely crazy and near enough suicidal within the context of, the game. So that's pretty much it for the first test stand. Obviously, it just shows you that even though you don't use Dragoon, part of the package that you're playing because you play Dragoon in the form of Secret Village is always going to be accessible to you. And even though it's a very soft, small lock, it's still a lock that's going to cause your opponent a lot of issues. Because, like I've said, being able to leave Maiden on the board and then dodge attacks within reason, bringing back spellcasters is what I mean, it really causes them a lot of issues. And if you've already got True Light, you just go, cool, True Light, bring it back. Now, the only thing that they could do to get rid of True Light, which would destroy your board, would be something like a Harpy's Feather Duster. But they can't Harpy's Feather Duster if they don't control a Spellcaster. So they would have to go normal summon a Spellcaster, and at that point you go, okay, destroy the Spellcaster, get rid of the Spellcaster, before they then try and activate Harpy's Feather Duster. So it gives you a lot of protection, which is really kind of cool. So now after shuffling this up and cutting up, we will then do a second test stand, go in first, and then we'll start going second, starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All one-offs that you don't ever really want to see. Like, this is not ideal hand. I think the best you could do is normal Maiden. Maiden gets you into the Link one, but then that still doesn't bridge you anywhere. You would have to send Maiden to place your True Light from the hand, which is really annoying. But I suppose this one gives you the ability. This will still give you the ability to show you what happens with a really awkward hand. So, Maiden, place the True Light. True Light's effect to set. Obviously, you're well within the realms. If they stop the True Light, you're in big trouble. But set the wishes, activate the wishes, discarding the Jet Dragon, grabbing your Sage, which is going to be your ideal starter, wherever it may be. Sage, and let's grab. Grab Raw. Let's grab Raw. Normal summon Sage. Sage effect to search. This will then grab you your Master in this particular scenario. You will then link your Sage off. Sage goes into your Spirit. Spirit's effect obviously can't be activated because you've already got Mausoleum, but you just go, cool, activate Mausoleum. Mausoleum's effect, target the Spirit, and if they get rid of it or negate it or Ghost Ogre or anything like that, you still have Raw to follow back up to get you a Blue Eyes in rotation. Then you can go into Spheres, and then you've got your additional normal summon off of the back of Master, unless they Ghost Ogre this, and then that won't happen. But you still have the ability of True Light during your opponent's turn as well. So you go Mausoleum, target Spirit, send Blue Eyes from deck to grave. Spirit's effect, tribute off, bring back Blue Eyes, bring back Maiden. So just by opening up like an awkward hand, you can still see that you're able to present a board still, which is really, really important. Again, you've got the two options here, is that you can synchro these two together, or you go normal summon Master, Master, add back Sage. This will then allow you to synchro these two instead if you want to, and go into an Ancient, not Ancient Fairy Dragon directly, you'd go into Spirit, and then Spirit can work its way into the Ancient Fairy. Ancient Fairy destroys, gives you 1,000 life points, grab you Secret Village. There you go. Don't need to activate it right now if you want to be playing more spells, which is absolutely fine. Activate Sage, target Maiden. Maiden's effect, chain, bring back Master. Turn Maiden and Sage into Abyss Dragon. Abyss Dragon's effect, grab you Polymerization. Now, if you leave this on the field during the end phase, let me just double check this one. During your end phase, you get to add a level 8 or higher dragon from the deck to the hand. So you could search out like I'm trying to think the best dragon to search. It's not really an ideal, because you've already got Jet Dragon in rotation, so it's not a big issue. You obviously want to get rid of this because if it stays on the board, it will get destroyed. You can go into, with these two, you can go into Heavenly Spheres, but you're not really upgrading most of your board. If you synchro these two off, you're not going to be able to do anything, because if you synchro those two off, your Secret Village lock isn't going to be that helpful for you. Unless you activate True Light very, very early doors during your opponent's turn. So, a couple of different options. It really is up to you. Just trying to see what else we have here. So, let's synchro these two off, just to kind of show you how you can do it a different way. Go into Crystal Wing. I could activate Raw to get a rank 8 if I want to. Honestly, I don't think it's worth it. I'd actually probably much rather hold the Raw back. So I'll hold this back so they know I've got Poly, they know I've got Raw, they don't know I've got Ghost Ogre. We'll activate Secret Village. I now cannot activate Spellcasters because I don't control a Spellcaster, which is fine. During the end phase, Abyss Dragon's effect, if I want to add, just trying to think what I would want to add. I mean, I could add a Blue Eyes, which would be more beneficial for me if instead of taking the Raw, I took the Majesty. So with hindsight, if I take the Majesty instead, you get 2 disruptions. So let's get the Majesty. So let's take the Majesty, put the Raw back because I didn't need it in the end. And then what you would need to do is during the draw phase, you'd have to shotgun the True Light just to make sure you bring back Blue Eyes and in turn bring back Maiden. This is very, very risky because if they have a Bestial, if they have a way to get Maiden out of the graveyard prior to making Crystal Wing, then you can't get this lock. But then prior to making Crystal Wing, you would just leave the Master on the board and then they'll still be Secret Village locked. But at the end of the day, once you do something like this, of course you've used True Light, you still have Majesty, which will be a pop 2, you've got a Crystal Wing, which is a Monster Negate, and you're still under the Secret Village lock. And like I said in the previous test hand, they would have to normal summon a monster, try to kill the Maiden, and Maiden's effect would trigger to then bring back your Sage, which then means they've got to get rid of this, they've got to get rid of this. In order to then start using spells, they've also got to have the negate off the back of this, they've got the 2 destructions off of the back of this, and then as it comes back to your turn, even if you draw any route to Dark Magician, possibly can get you into the Dragoon. Worst case scenario, you also have Polymerization to hard make your, wherever it may be, Blue Eyes Tyrant. Or, of course, you can use Wishes in the graveyard. You've got the reset off the back of True Light. You've got the revival off the back of True Light. You've got so much more you can play off the back of it as well. It just kind of shows that even though you can't directly always guarantee to get access to Dragoon, just playing Ancient Fairy and Secret Village is definitely a lock that a lot of players are not going to be expecting in a Blue Eyes deck. So now what we'll do is we'll go second. Hopefully we get to see a route to the Dark Magician engine. But that's the one important thing that I wanted to highlight with this particular build, is I didn't want this build to be like, okay, you have to get Dragoon or bust. I wanted to show you that you can still play around it, and getting access to the Dragoon package is just going to be like an added benefit. So what we'll do now is we'll shuffle up and we will go second just to show you the OTK aggression from the deck. So a decent shuffle and a good old cut. Starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, these have probably been dropped on our opponent. So let's just say we've got a Nibiru and we've imperned them. 6. I mean, the hand is Blue Eyes Central again, but we'll walk you through this just so you can see an OTK capabilities. Normal summon Sage, Sage effect to search. Now, honestly, you can search out a second Maiden. I'm just going to go for Effect Veiler just because I have everything I need. Turn Sage into Spirit. Spirit, grab Mausoleum. And if they do stop you here, again, you still have place to make sure you still have the Maiden. So grab your Mausoleum. Activate Mausoleum. I mean, I don't actually need to use Mausoleum right now. Let's save Mausoleum, because I can use my additional normal off the Master. Master's effect to add Sage back to the hand. Activate Maiden, grab me True Light. There we go, place True Light face up. Now I can activate Spirit, target Master or itself, whichever one, it doesn't make much of a difference. I suppose if you target the Master, at least if you need to, you can actually leave Master on the board to be an attack boost. Send... no, I don't need to do that. I can get myself out of the Dragon Lock. Forget that. We'll just use Sage, turn Spirit into Abyss Dragon. Or Jet Dragon. Jet Dragon's probably stronger. Let's go Abyss Dragon. Ooh, actually no, we want Blue Eyes White Dragon ready, don't we? Yeah, we want Blue Eyes White Dragon. Ignore that. We go Blue Eyes White Dragon, which in turn will trigger Maiden to come back. We still haven't used this effect yet, so that's quite important, because now what we can do is we can synchro these two together, put them in the grave, go into Spirit number 1, and then we can use Mausoleum, target Maiden, chain Maiden's effect, bring back Blue Eyes just so we can get a bit more aggressive. And we haven't even used True Light yet, which is pretty cool. Send a Blue Eyes from deck to grave. Wherever it may be. There we go, send Blue Eyes from deck to grave. Now what you can do is you can use Master's effect. Target an effect monster you control, send to grave, do special on a Blue Eyes monster from the graveyard. So you can use Master, shuffle it back in, target in Maiden, send it, get your Blue Eyes back to the board. Now obviously you'd only be doing this in a way of, because you want to be more aggressive. Otherwise you leave Maiden on the board, you make a second Spirit Dragon. But honestly there's no real need to. Because you'll just go battle phase, 3k, 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 25. You still haven't used True Light, so if you really need to, you can activate True Light to get you Raw. Or you can activate True Light to get you Wishes. You can activate True Light to pretty much get you anything you need to. And then you've got a guarantee that if you can't OTK here, you definitely would have gone for a Spirit Dragon instead. and then you can go down the secret village lock again if you wanted to. So really is up to you. Loads of different options there, but that just shows you how you can go point blank aggression and where the hand traps kind of come into play. Okay, let's do a final test hand. Hopefully we get to see the Dark Magician engine now. I really just want to show you how it works. But yeah, I suppose it's also quite good to show you how the deck can still operate without it. So it's not a massive cornerstone. And like I said, you can adapt the build yourself to make it more focused on the illusion package if you want to. And to do that, you can play a third Magician Souls, you can play a second Illusion of Chaos. It really is kind of up to you and how you want to make it as consistent as possible. I just wanted to make sure it didn't take away from the general consistency of the deck. And like I said, adding Dragoon to the board is just an added benefit. So 1, 2, why am I always seeing you? What the hell? 3, I mean, that's part of it. 4, 5, okay, Nib, Veiler, and 6, Ash. I mean, this isn't ideal, but it's not the end of the world. So again, normal summon Master. Master's Effect can add back the Veiler. Great success. Turn this into our Link 1. Link 1's effect will then allow us to grab Mausoleum. I mean, this doesn't actually... How far will this actually get us? Kind of need Maiden. It's not ideal. So this will grab us Mausoleum, wherever it may be. There we go. I still have an additional normal summon of Effect Veiler. How far does that push me? Annoyingly, the one time we see access to Dark Magician, we don't see access to fuse into it. But I suppose that's part and part of the way you run it. I'll do another test then after this anyway, but I just want to show you how you can navigate this play out. So you can either use Spirit's Effect now to bring out your Blue Eyes, which is absolutely fine to do. You've still got Mausoleum that can target this Blue Eyes to send another Blue Eyes from deck to grave, making this 3,800 if you want it to. You've got your additional normal summon of your Effect Veiler. You can also go Master with Eyes to bring a Blue Eyes back from the graveyard, but you're not really getting any benefit from it. So you'd have to go these two together, go into a... Has to be, I mean, Azure Eyes or Spirit Dragon, really. Let's go into Spirit Dragon. We can upgrade into a Crystal Wing, which isn't really that big of an issue. Can't really get a Spellcaster to the board, so that's not going to be so helpful. I could have got 2 Blue Eyes to the board. I mean, I suppose if I rewind this, actually, I can probably get an OTK to the board. So you'd have this. Mausoleum, target Blue Eyes, make this up by 800. Whereas it is, there we go, 800. Send Blue Eyes from deck to grave. Now, specifically, is it Blue Eyes White Dragon or a Blue Eyes monster? I never really looked at this one. Target face up, send a normal monster from the hand or deck to the grave. Oh, it has to be a normal monster. Big sad. Oh well. Send the second Blue Eyes. And then you'd go Master, target the Effect Veiler, send that, bring back this, put this back into the deck. And that just gives you your more stronger board. Obviously, you've got rank 8 capabilities if you want to. If you can't OTK, you make Hieratic Seals. And then you still have the ability to drop an Ash on them. Obviously, this will be dictated on how strong the Nibiru token is that you've just given them. Because if it's strong enough that you can't deal with it with this board, then you're going to need to look at stuff like Indigo Eyes, or you would go into Spirit Dragon to tag it out to go into Michael to then banish it. Yeah, and then try and rebuild from there. Ironic that the first time we see the access to it, it kind of blocks us a bit. But anyway, we'll shuffle up now, and hopefully, I'll tell you what, I'm going to power shuffle this one just so you can kind of see it fully randomized, and then we'll hopefully be able to see our illusion package and not see Master again, I guess will be the ideal scenario. Come here, there we go. So done a power shuffle, do a final shuffle and a cut. There we go. Come on, illusion package. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, okay, we've ghosted our opponent, and 6. Secret Village. I mean, that's part of the package. It's not the part of the package that I want to see. I mean, you've got full Sage combo on this one. I'm not going to repeat myself on this. What we'll do is we'll sub out... I mean, let's keep this. Let's just refresh these 4 cards, right? Let's just see if I'll do it randomized, and then I will just add Magician Souls to the hand, just so that I can show you. I mean, I've already shown you in the combo, but what's the point in having a test hand video if I can't show you the whole kind of like premise of the deck? But it just shows you that the deck doesn't need to rely on it, which I think is really important. Okay, new 4. 1, 2. Really? Really? 3, 4. Okay. You saw me shuffle and I just got those two. Right, screw this. Add this. And then we'll add 3 more random cards. And I'll show you how you can... 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 more random cards. That'll do. I'll show you how you get aggressive. Normal summon Sage. Sage effect, grab your Maiden. Pretty standard on that one. There we go, grab the Maiden. Turn this into this. Effect to this, grab you the Mausoleum. And if they stop that, you still have the ability of Maiden. Grab your Mausoleum. Activate Mausoleum. Effect target, send Blue Eyes. Could technically send Dark Magician, which is fine, but you still want it. There we go, send that. Maiden, send it. True Light. Activate Spirit. Tribute off. Blue Eyes. Maiden. There we go. Still haven't used True Light. What I'm trying to show you is that you can hold back the True Lights. You don't need to use it, which is really quite important sometimes. So now you've got the Synchro level 9. I could also go into Ancient Fairy Dragon, which honestly I don't need to do. So we'll use True Light now. True Light will set wishes. Activate the wishes, discarding the Nibiru. I could discard the Blue Eyes if we want to. Doesn't make much of a difference. Grab us a Sage and grab us... no, let's not go for a Sage. Let's go for Master. And how aggressive do I want to be? Let's go Raw. I mean, I'm going for aggression, so I'm going for an OTK. Normal summon Master. Master's effect. Grab us Sage back. Sage effect. Have we got something in the grave? No, we haven't. So we'll do this first. Put these two together. Get you into Spirit Dragon. Then we'll use Sage effect, target Maiden, chain Maiden's effect. Do I want a Synchro Plate or a Blue Eyes? Let's bring back Blue Eyes. So we'll use these two, which is in the graveyard. This will then get us a Abyss Dragon. Abyss Dragon grabs us Polymerization. There we go. Happy days. Activate Magician's Souls, send in Dark Magician from deck to grave. There we go, and then reviving the Dark Magician. I mean, this should pretty much be game as it is, but if you want to get a bit more greedy, activate Polymerization, fuse these two, go into the almighty Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Dragoon's effect to pop and then burn once because we use Dark Magician, which will do that. We still have the ability of Raw to bring a Blue Eyes back from the graveyard. We still have Wishes as well. So that's where you can, like, this is where Raw gets really stupid, because you activate Raw, especially when in defense, a Blue Eyes monster from the deck, graveyard, or banishment. Then if you control no Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can only special summon Blue Eyes with this effect. But you can't special summon for any extra except dragons, which is fine. You get a Banishes card from the grave to fusion summon. One fusion monster from your extra using monster from the hand or field, including a Blue Eyes monster. You can only use one Raw effect per turn. But the idea is that because I've got access to Blue Eyes White Dragon, I can use Jet Dragon. Let me just double check. Once only activate while Blue Eyes is on the field. I mean, the issue is with Jet Dragon, it's one of them Blue Eyes that doesn't become Blue Eyes on the field. So this is where it gets a little bit disappointing, but you'd have to summon this one out because it's always going to summon in defense. And what I'm trying to show you is how you turn a defensive monster into an attacking monster. You'd go Wishes to equip this Blue Eyes with Neo, and then you'd contact fuse these two into Tyrant. So that's how you turn a defense into an offense. And then you go Battle Phase, and you go, cool, I've already burnt my opponent with Dragoon, but then Tyrant goes kill, 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 kill. Obviously, at the end of the damage step, I get to reset a trap card if there is any, which there isn't. And then you get to go Spirit Attack 3k off a Dragoon, 3k off of this. And if Dragoon's negated, of course, it goes up to 4k. Like, that's your aggression. Like, there's no way your opponent can out-aggression that because you've been able to pop and burn. Obviously, a Nibiru would suck, but then at least they're trading their entire board for your board. And you're like, okay, whatever. If you put them in a position where the next play is a poly that's going to lead you into Dragoon, they're going to be more forceful to Nibiru you at that point. Anyway, that's it for the entire test stands. It was kind of cool to show you how the Ancient Fairy Dragon works in the deck, with or without the Dragoon package, because you can just naturally use it and get into a secret village lock, which is really kind of cool. But I know I had to hard make it to show you the Dragoon. Like, I had to manipulate the hand, but that was the whole point of it. Is like, this can be utilized no matter what version you play, and it doesn't rely on anything specific. This relies on you to have a specific engine, but if you want to make it more consistent, you will then, of course, make it more consistent by increasing its representation within inside the deck. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you do have any questions at all, by all means, please put in the comments down below. I will be more than happy to answer them. For now, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.